Day 24. Day 24 of sober for October, and here I am, Derek Reynolds, in the flesh. Never pint of water down the hatch. 24 days. This, I mean, takes me right back to my youth. I think that must have been the last time I went 24 days without a drop of the hard stuff. And I thought today I'd answer one of the most common questions I get is how'd you get into this career in conservation and butterfly collecting and funny really my first experience of working with butterflies really was through a bit of a back door, to be honest. I mean, I started out, I wanted to be a mortician. And I was working in the local morgue down in Waltham Abbey with the local mortician. His name was George Hargreaves. And he was very famous in the area. You wanted to be buried. You wanted someone to check your cause of death. It'd be George. And there I was, young lads, fresh out of school, my GCEs, O levels, that's what you did in those days. And I got an apprenticeship with George, Mr. Hargreaves, as I called him. I was only 15, working in a morgue, late nights, and but the thing is, looking at all the cadavers and, cutting bits off and, inspecting the giblets, that was all well and good. But then George let me in on a little secret. He had a bit of a side gig going, he had a secret double life, did George. He'd be going out every Tuesday, Thursday, and he said, I'll be back in the morning, and he'd be gone all night, and what he was doing, he was nipping down to the insect farm where they buried all the and they had their little graveyard for all the insects that died at the farm before they were able to be eaten, and George was going there and he was digging them up. And he was taking the little butterfly bodies and wrapping them in bin bags, tiny little bin bags, and he was selling them to the local University of Middlesex, and they were using those bodies for exhibitions and cutting them up and stuff. And one night, he said, how are you faring with these dead corpses? I was like, well, I've had more fun at the go-karts, you know what I mean? And he said, well, why don't you join me on one of me missions, one of me late night missions to the insect graveyards? And I was like, all right. And from that we sort of became, notorious, I suppose, in the local papers. They were calling us the mysterious, the Burke and Hare of Waltham Abbey, like where are all these butterfly corpses going? Someone's digging up the butterflies, and the professor from the University of Middlesex saying, I don't know who's supplying us with these corpses, for our experiments, but it's very useful, when we're doing our little dissections. And eventually they did catch George. They caught him because he started on butterflies, but it wasn't long before he was going around collecting. He was going around the cemeteries for humans and dogs, and and he was selling them on the black market. He was selling them to the dog food factory. He was selling bodies, left, right, and centre, and eventually he did get caught because he tried to murder the Queen. Yeah, so that's how I got started. That's how I got started in butterfly collecting. It was a funny old game, really, isn't it? Funny old game. There we are. I'm only 20 quid off me target now. Sober October. So here's to everyone who's donated so far. And if you want to help me get to my target 300, just because I want to avoid any sanctions or forfeits I might have to, go through with Macmillan if I don't make the target. So if you could help me get over the line, even a little bit further over the line if you like, there's nothing to say you can't beat your target. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow.